Hello, I'm Glenn Toby. I'm a Springfire Qigong master and a psychotherapist. The theme of these talks have been around the healing plan for a caring fatigue. The specific focus for this topic is on balancing sadness. Now, everything that happens to us in our lives, so the feelings, the thoughts, the experiences, the events, affects our body. Different emotions affect our bodies in different ways, but everything is interconnected. So the thing that happens here doesn't mean like it's just here. No, it resonates throughout the whole body. Different organs, different systems pick up that impact. So different emotions, different impact, different strengths or weaknesses, different ways it affects our body. So our health plan here is about sadness. What do we do with the sadness? The purpose of sadness actually is to produce a reaction to the way we think life wants to be, should be, could be. And as a response to that, expectation about how we want life to be versus how life is brings us to a kind of a difficulty. Grieving, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a patient, the loss of a pet, the loss of a dream. All those, that's not the way I want the world to be. And what it forces the body to do is to respond to that kind of reaction. And it resonates throughout our whole body. So sometimes the grieving seems to be relentless, never goes away. So then that grieving, that vibration, stays vibrating within our body. Very, very powerful. But what is the organ that it affects the most? The impact of grieving, of the sadness, is on the lungs. So you can see when people, experience the grieving, experience a death somewhere, they just feel so like it's hard to breathe, that they feel like they're suffocated, they can't get enough breath. The lungs and the skin are connected. So anything you're feeling with your skin affects how you're breathing. So the sadness, it affects the lung system. So the more that you can work on the lung system during the grieving time, the more powerful you are. So you can imagine the lungs being overwhelmed. No wonder there's caring fatigue. The fatigue, the lungs, you can't even breathe. And the breath is so important for the oxygen, in the blood system that circulates throughout your whole body. So if the lungs aren't doing its task, so to speak, it's going to impact you greatly. Now, where does the sadness, so to speak, where does the grieving get its power from, its fuel from? So even if we're kind of robots and something, that sadness, that grieving has to have a source of fuel. So what is the fuel that sadness, that grieving has? And where does it get it from? It gets it from contentment and satisfaction. I don't mean like about being content about what's happening in the world, or I'm satisfied with what's going on in the world. It's that vibration of sadness and contentment. Actually, what those two emotions are is really a deepening connection to understanding things. I've heard this expression a long time ago. Are you sad because you're so wise, or are you wise because you're so sad? The wisdom and the sadness as if it connects you to a deeper understanding of life. So sadness, death, grieving actually is an opportunity to go deeper in life. Yes, you have to grieve that specific thing, but to hold on to the grieving, as opposed to the purpose of it is to make a connection deeper. When someone dies or a pet passes on, or anything, what's the tendency? Make a connection, make a connection, make a connection. Now, how do you make a connection inside yourself? There's an expression that goes something like this. People make decisions based on what they know at the time, the support they have at the time, and the circumstances they have at the time. Very, very profound 3 words. So looking back, everything I've done is I try to do what I knew, the support I had, and the circumstances. Going forward, I can change what I know, change my circumstances, change my support. Affect the sadness to go deeper. Understanding is a healing tool. Understanding in this level can heal the lungs so that the caring fatigue does not, disempower you, but actually the connection to the content that I've done my best, the satisfaction that I understand what's going on, then my body is like a savings account. So when the grieving and the grief comes or the sadness comes, it has a higher level, of a savings account of the energy of content and satisfaction. Thank you for listening.